Republic about the philosopher who has been emancipated from the cave in Book 7 of Republic, but then goes back in, and because going from the light back into the darkness can't see very well, people will laugh at him, make fun of him, of course, call him an idiot or whatever, because they don't understand that the philosopher, in our case here, the poet, has something profound to say. He finishes, and this is the reward, he says, that the ideal shall be real to thee, and the impressions of the actual world shall fall like summer rain, copious, but not troublesome to thy invulnerable essence. Thou shalt have a whole land for thy park and manor, the sea for thy bath and navigation, without tax and without envy. The woods and the rivers thou shalt own, and thou shalt possess that wherein others are only tenants and boarders. Thou, true landlord, sea lord, air lord, wherever snow falls, wherever water flows or birds fly, wherever day and night meet in twilight, wherever the blue heaven is hung by clouds or sown with stars, wherever are forms with transparent boundaries, wherever are outlets into celestial space, wherever is danger and awe and love, there is beauty, plenteous as rain, shed for thee, and though thou shouldst walk the world over, thou shalt not be able to find a condition inopportune or ignoble. In other words, he deifies the poet to say the poet is going to always find the greatest success. Why? Because the poet is the true speaker of nature. Well, that's the essay. Let's work quickly at level 2. At 2A, messages, themes. Not only is the poet, we would say, necessary for the poet's sake, but necessary for society. However, number 2, being a poet is hard work. It is the most precious of work, Emerson says, but it's hard work. And of course, speak to any artist of any ilk, and the artist will often talk about the difficult project of work. Finally, the idea of courage. It takes so much courage to be willing to say about one's talents, this is what I was born to do. And Emerson says, if you have that talent and you have that calling, then go and do it and find the joy. At 2B, the rhetorical observations. Of course, we have to point this out. Profound word pictures again. Emerson is a king of this kind of thing, right? For example, what a powerful word picture. We're like the lost blind shepherd looking for the cottage that's nice and warm. We're 10 feet from it and we don't realize that we're there. It's such a compelling idea, right? Notice his direct language. I've hoped that I've been able to not butcher that language too badly in my reading for you guys. That it's direct language, right? It's going to make sense that Whitman would read it and he would feel like he is being called. Let's finally point out that when Whitman writes Then in Leaves of Grass, he will use a very similar kind of direct language that many have called the essence of American poetics. That it speaks directly, right to the heart. It's a compelling way to think about poetics. At 3A, you know this one's coming, obviously, right? How do you relate this text to other texts? Well, what is your favorite poet, your favorite artist? And again, don't just think about it in terms of poetry. Think about it in terms of who's your favorite musician, your favorite band, your favorite maybe filmmaker. The ones I've had students that say there's certain movies that I really like, and then I begin to realize they're all kind of made by similar types of people. How about this one? Who's your favorite video game maker and why? Those are all artists. Those are all poets, as Emerson would maybe articulate the idea. Of course, we're going to always ask about the poets that we've been introduced to ourselves, especially these poems and these poets that we're reading in 303. What is it that makes it compelling? At 3B, we should point this out. It only is going to be compelling if it speaks directly to you and to who you are, right? 2 observations to finish. Do you believe that poets are still that important in our culture? And if not, why not? And if, for example, poets aren't important in our culture, so you believe, then why is it the case that we regularly will consult poetry in our moments of great pain? Death comes to mind. I was just mentioning a funeral for Stephen Hawkins where Ecclesiastes, the book from the Bible, is read from. Finally, are you a poet? Or are you an artist? Or do you know someone who you qualify as a poet and an artist? Do you have respect for those individuals? If you yourself feel that you somehow were born to have a perspective of the world and you are a poet or an artist, do you have the courage to continue, to grow, to evolve, and to pursue your passion? Emerson would say, the world, we, America, and the world needs that vision and that perspective. Well, we turn now in our next lecture and essay to character. This one is a fascinating little lecture essay as well, and I hope that you will enjoy it. Thank you guys for staying with me through these lectures. It's a lot of fun.